Well, hey there. How are you doing today? My name's Jeff. I wanted to talk with you a little bit about some of the stocks in the market today, a few observations that I've made, and a few thoughts about how you invest and how much money you put into your best ideas when you invest. Because I think there's something that we can learn just in kind of sharing our ideas. So I'll throw a few things out there. I hope that you'll listen to them and consider them and maybe just write down in the comment section if you agree or if you disagree or if you have any kind of special ideas as far as what works best for you. So one thing that I noticed in looking now, this is a stock tracker that I have where I kind of keep track of all the stocks in my portfolio at a glance so I can kind of see where things are going. And just so you'll know, most people who watch this channel know that I have a series of smaller portfolios, like the Animal Donut portfolio is a 7-stock portfolio. And I have a few like that centered around different themes. But what I'm going to show you here is just a bunch of stocks that I own. Some of them are in these mini portfolios, and then some of them are some of my like larger or long time holdings. So the first one here is Constellation Energy. Again, another fantastic day for the clean energy sector of power generation, like nuclear, wind, solar. So Constellation, just like Vistra, the one right below it, are both involved in a lot of wind, solar, and nuclear power generation. Those stocks are doing well, but more surprising to me is that Amazon had such a strong day today, 3.18% return, and this is for a huge company. I almost said multi-billion dollar company, but it's not a multi-billion dollar. I was thinking, oh, it's probably a $1 trillion plus company, Amazon. And then I looked, and it's actually a $2.72 trillion company. So this is an enormous company, and for it to grow 3% in a day, I just think that probably a lot of the investors who had counted out Amazon or focused maybe too much on their retail sector of their business and not enough on some of the other stuff they're doing with AWS and AI are finally coming back to this stock. But looking just down this list, Microsoft, Adobe, Costco, Modine Manufacturing, Apple, Google, and NVIDIA all having very strong days. So I think the question that I want to pose to you guys is, do you believe in this idea of making large bets on your best ideas, kind of concentrating on what you know best, or do you like to make lots of little diversified investments so that you have lots of little holdings? And this is just a question to you, and as I like to say in every video, this is not financial advice. I just like kind of this learning and teaching process, and I think that by sharing our ideas, we can kind of grow and learn more about investing. So I'll say I saw a video today by someone named, I think it was Tom, I want to get his name right. His name was Tom Sosnoff, and he's the CEO and founder of Tasty Trade, which I guess is a brokerage firm. I had never heard of him before today, but he was asked what his best advice was for trading. And one thing is, you could tell he has a lot of fun with it. So when he talks about day trading, which is something that I'd never do personally, but I am open to other people's ideas, he said that he just likes to pay attention to position size. He thinks that's the most important thing, is position size. And what he meant by that is keeping it small, never wagering or investing more than, I don't know, he didn't really say what, but I think the idea is you don't want to invest more than you can lose, and you don't want it to make you unhappy, and you definitely don't want it to affect your life in any way that you bet on a stock or invested. So his idea was be very careful about position size. And I guess if you are a day trader, you don't want to make huge bets where if they went wrong, you could be in really bad financial shape. I personally am not a trader at all. I have tried using a few trader tools like trailing stop losses, but I didn't like them because they took me out of positions that I wanted to hold for a long time, way before I wanted to sell. So I personally like to really learn about a company, and when I'm confident that I've made a choice that makes sense for me, then I go in big. So I pay attention to position size, and I like to focus most of my money on my best ideas. So that's more of a buy and hold long-term strategy. So for some of the stocks that I own, like Berkshire Hathaway or Amazon, I've invested more into those, and I really don't care what happens. Like, if I didn't see stock quotes on these companies for months or even years, it wouldn't matter to me, because I've held, for example, Amazon and Berkshire for many years, especially Berkshire, and it just doesn't matter to me what the price is from time to time, because I'm not selling it, and it really wouldn't matter to me unless I actually needed to sell it to pay attention to what the stock price was. Let's just go through something else here for comparison's sake, because I like to share with you good and bad, green and red, up and down. This is my semiconductor portfolio, and I also own all 10 stocks here. And I began investing in these at the beginning of 2024. And every month of the year, I have invested in these. And I will continue. I guess December, which is coming up soon, will be the last month of the year. And I will also invest into one of these. And I show you this because I think there's a tendency, especially on YouTube, for people to communicate that all of their stocks are up or all of their investments are doing well. I think it's good to just be able to show that, hey, sometimes you have days, or you'll have even a year, where things don't go the way that you'd hoped, and that your investments are not as successful as they might have been when you started out. So what I want to tell you here is I'm looking here at my semiconductor portfolio, which again, I've been investing in every month. And when I look at the performance for this year, it's actually negative 17% on the year. Doesn't bother me. I knew going in that semiconductor performance, I mean, tech stocks in general can be very volatile, but semiconductors are very cyclical, meaning it kind of goes in waves. Sometimes they're very popular and on a lot of demand when supply is short and demand is strong. And then they tend to produce a lot of chips, and then the supply can be high and the demand for them goes down. What I think we're experiencing right now is, earlier this year, AI and the story behind how hot and how much demand there would be for a lot of these chips. And I think right now people are taking a little breather. Maybe the demand for some of these chips isn't as high as people thought it would be. Really, I'm just guessing. I have no idea why semi stocks have lately, with the exception of a few like Nvidia, a lot of chip stocks have just been down the last few months. But again, I don't get scared away by that. And the reason that I invest every month of this year into semis is because I want to make sure that I'm buying these stocks when they are cheaper. The mistake would be only to buy stocks in a given sector or industry because the prices were high and it was easy and comfortable. But where you really make money in investing is when you're buying things at really low prices because other investors have fled them and sent the price down really low. So again, this is not financial advice, but this is just a statement, which is I'm observing a lot of these prices in semi stocks being much lower than they were earlier this year, and I'm not afraid of it. I think what's particularly interesting to me is that companies like Axcelis and Aspen Aerogels, I'm looking at my positions here. The Axcelis position is negative 33% on average over multiple purchases I've made during the year. And Aspen Aerogels is minus 37% so far. And I mean, I was buying that stock really early in the year. I think the price when I began was about $13 a share. I made several purchases and still down 37%, which is a lot, but as an investor over a long period of time, you're going to own stocks in great companies and see them descend in price from top quote to bottom quote by 50%. And that just happens. So again, I'm not doing anything with this semi portfolio. I'm not selling out. I'm not afraid. I'm not emotional. And in fact, in a few days, I'm going to buy another one of these stocks. I haven't yet decided which one I'm going to buy, but I will probably focus on one of the stocks that got really cheap over the last few months and buy more shares of that. So that is about everything I wanted to share with you guys today. And my question for you as we wrap this up is, are you someone who likes paying attention to the size of your position when you invest? Are you very careful about that to limit kind of the downside? Or are you someone who likes to go in big and invest in a large size in the stocks when you really understand them well? Are you more of a kind of all-in kind of investor when everything looks good to you, you've done your due diligence, and you understand the business? Thanks so much for being here with me today. And I want to make a special thank you to those of you who've been watching my channel for, the last several months or even the last couple of years. It really is nice to see you guys in the comments, whether you write just a few words or ask a question or just throw a few emojis up there. I always love hearing from you. Honestly, it's the most satisfying part of being a YouTuber is just getting a few ideas or words from the people who watch these videos, because without you as a viewer out there watching, the whole process makes no sense to just record myself speaking in front of this camera and uploading it. It's nothing. So you guys are what make this all real and make it really fun. And so I just want to thank you for that. If you're new and you somehow came across this video for the first time, my name's Jeff, and these videos are mostly about investing. I started out talking about ETFs and kind of how to design a portfolio of ETFs that makes sense, but I've really gotten into small cap stock investing and also some mid caps, and I just find it really challenging. And for someone with intellectual curiosity, the ability to design a portfolio and to really understand each company in a qualitative way so that you really have a strong grasp of what the company's about, who the CEO is, and where they are going. It's just a very satisfying experience, and I love to share that with you. So if you're new here and not yet a subscriber, please subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get a notification, you get a heads up whenever I make a new video. If you have not yet hit the thumbs up, please tap that. I don't always remember to ask you guys to do it, but it's a super help to the channel when you guys hit the like button, because then it tells YouTube like, hey, somebody liked this video. You can, be comfortable sharing it with other people. So do that. And thank you again for watching, and I will see you in the next video.